BJP represented by Siddharth Singh, Congress by Sanjay Jha, TSR Subramaniam, former cabinet secretary, Shazia Almi of the Aam Aadmi Party. My first question to Manoj Jha of the RJD, that's Lalu Prasad's party. Manoj Jha, how does it feel tonight to have the dubious distinction of representing the party of allow me to complete, yes, of representing the party whose leader facing possible conviction is determined to use his clout to push through an ordinance to save his skin. And I'm talking about Lalu Prasad, because everyone's saying, and to all the viewers, they say Lalu Prasad is so scared that he will be sentenced in the fodder scam on September 30th that he's used his clout with Sonia Gandhi to push this ordinance through. Manoj Jha, how ethical is that?
Yeah. First of all, before you raise the ethical issue about it, let me, it is not a dubious distinction, because if I represent RJD today with a full conviction in the fact that we have a checkered history, even if you may not like it, but we have come through a churning in politics in the late 1990s. That is number one.
Now, am I asking you for your party's political history?
No, you said dubious. Let me, you have asked a question, let me respond. Second, don't make this debate on this ordinance person-centric.
Why?
We are a small party.
Why? You feel uncomfortable about it?
Only 4 members.
You feel uncomfortable about it?
Only 4 members. Arnab, let me finish.
Is it true or not? Is it true or not? One second. No, I won't let you finish. Is it true or not? Is it true or not that Lalu Prasad faces the prospect of losing his Lok Sabha seat if found guilty, and if he's sentenced in the fodder scam case?
Do you know the minds of the judges?
Pardon me?
Do you know the minds of the judges?
I don't. But do you know that they will not sentence him? I throw that back at you.
What is the fact? I mean, you are talking about ordinance, and 4 members of RJD.
Lalu Prasad is the next politician. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Siddharth Singh, is this linked? Is this been brought in to save Lalu?
Yeah. Well, it's evidently clear that it has been done because there was no rush to bring an ordinance, and it has been done to save their alliance partner, which is RJD and Lalu Prasad Yadav, and also the Congress leader from Rajya Sabha, Rashid Masood. So therefore, we question the timing and the intent of the ordinance, and therefore, and that is what we have been raising.
Yeah. So Sanjay Jha, why are you so desperate to save Lalu Prasad Yadav that you forget all the promises you made, Rahul Gandhi made, Sonia Gandhi made about fighting, criminals in politics? Now you seem to be welcoming criminals in politics. Why?
Arnab, let me tell you something. I think that's a fairly wild and a very absurd allegation, because I will back Manoj on that one. I'm not a Nostradamus. I don't think anybody on the panel is to predict what the verdict will be on the fodder case. So I really can't comment on that. But very quickly, to respond to your question, why are we forgetting that we as a party were the ones who introduced perhaps the biggest game changer act in India in terms of transparency and accountability in the RTI Act?
Please,
and the second
am I talking about the RTI here?
Before Mr. Siddharth Singh makes a comment, the BJP is running with the hare and hunting with the hounds. Is so absolutely clear. When the verdict came out, and I have all the paper clippings in front of me on July 10th, all political parties, and perhaps with the exception of a party that has not yet fought the elections in the AAP party, felt very concerned about the Supreme Court verdict, about how it might impact some politicians who may be unfairly convicted on account of some degree of harassment. But that is a reality that we cannot.
No. So what?
And number 2,
what you're saying is I translate that in simple English. What Sanjay Jha is saying right now, ladies and gentlemen, is that all of us were very scared that many of us, if we are convicted, will not be allowed to fight elections. I take a straw poll among the people. I opened up the phone lines tonight. I will open up the phone lines tonight, and I will put that question to the people tonight. Even if all the political parties of India gang up and they say, no, we want criminals in politics, do you agree with that?
The cause of some politicians.
Well, no. What you are doing is
unfairly through some degree of harassment.
Well, if you say I'm being unfair to all politicians, then Sanjay Jha, I take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. Let's go to Shazia Almi. TSR Subramaniam, I'm coming to you. 1 minute.
1% of 31% of legislators belong to the BJP who have seriously got serious criminal
now this
charges.
passing the buck will
So you can see
begin.
the double standards of the BJP.
Now you'll pass the buck.
No, it's the truth.
Now you'll start the standard passing the buck.
Sushma Swaraj's
Sanjay Jha,
highly
rather than
sanctimonious
looking inside,
position.
you're
There you
always
are.
Nothing but
looking
a
at BJP.
performance.
There you are.
It is nothing but a charade.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is nothing but a charade
Sanjay.
to score cheap political brownie points.
Shazia
Like the
Elmi.
threatening of tonsuring her
Sanjay
head.
Jha.
I don't think anybody should take
Please
that seriously.
explain to us what is the hurry to bring an
One-third
ordinance.
of
That's
Indian
all we are asking.
parliamentarians.
Shazia Elmi of the Aam Aadmi Party next. This is a fixed match, Shazia. What do you think? Is this a fixed match?
Well, absolutely. BJP has a problem with the ordinance because they feel the executive is taking charge. But the fact of the matter is that the entire political class is completely united on the Supreme Court verdict order, which says that criminals should not be allowed and should be debarred from contesting. So the problem is not about the ordinance. The problem is about the intention. 30% of Indian parliamentarians face criminal charges. The fact of the matter is, if the ordinary person, when they go through the criminal justice system the way it is, with so many under trials languishing away, why are convicted MPs, the escape route is being found for them, a back route entry, escape route is being found for them to allow for them to stay in Parliament. This is a complete travesty of the Supreme Court order.
Absolutely.
People want to see convicted MPs to go. Yeah, people want to see that. As it is, a conviction takes 15 to 20 years. And after that, you want to allow them to sit in the parliament to make laws and say, no, they will not draw salaries.
Absolutely. That's what the politicians want.
I think this is...
That's what the politicians want, Shazia. That's what they want. Go to TSR's. No, 1 second. Manoj Jha, before you speak, I want to give you an award. And the award to the RJD on the Newshour tonight is for having a second dubious distinction. The second dubious distinction that you have, Manoj Jha.
You are being unfair to the politics of subalternity. You are being unfair to progressive politics.
Really?
You don't know about people fighting in Niyamgiri.
Really?
You don't know about people fighting in Chhattisgarh.
Really?
Because this observation of
And
10th
you know
of July
everything?
would have shattered their dreams.
And you know everything.
And you chose not to. And you chose not to mention Mr. L.K. Advani, Mr. Amit Shah, Mr. Yedurappa. The convictions are likely to come to them also.
Really? You want to teach me progressive politics? You want to teach me progressive politics?
They cannot be greater.
You want to give me a lecture? You want to give me a lecture, Manoj Jha, on what is right and what is wrong? Then I'll ask you, Manoj Jha, as per my statistics, is it true or not that 75% of your MPs, 75% of your MPs have pending criminal cases? What moral right do you have to tell me about progressive politics, Manoj Jha? That's your insecurity tonight which is speaking.
Let me respond to you. The lower the statistics value in the base, the higher is the value in the upper
please,
part.
come on, please don't give me that language. I put the question now to TSR Subramaniam. TSR Subramaniam, is this a fixed match between the Congress and the BJP?
Of course, yes, Arnab, of course, yes. This is the fourth or fifth or sixth match we are seeing this year alone. Their interests are common. But let me start with a slightly different angle. Number one, that this is a low point in our history. The country is beset with problems. We have got hunger, malnutrition, border problem, the Naxalism, and the parliament and the ordinance route is used to save 5 or 10 MPs. How much atrocious, even in dictatorships, this kind of a thing will not happen, number one. Number two, the interest of 1,000 legislators is more important than rule of law and the interest of 120 crore citizens. Number two, it is atrocious that the whole system is responding only to the interest of these. What does it matter? How is it unreasonable? We are not talking of the FIR stage.
Yeah.
We are not talking of the framing of charges stage. We are talking about conviction. What kind of a respect do we have for I know mistakes are made by everybody, mistakes can be made, but it is not only for MPs. Mistakes can be made for everybody, but there has to be a stage. The stage of conviction for 2 years is not done casually by any court.
So
after looking at all evidence, after a tremendous amount of inquiry, and to say that it has no value at all.
I say tonight, Mr.
Kind of a respect.
No, you see,
what they say is, to my mind, if it goes again, Article 101, 102, along with Article 14, in all probability this will fail. Which is the
well,
one
you
thing.
know-
But what is the respect we are showing now?
Well, it is-
We are not showing respect to the citizen. We are not giving him food. We are
Yeah.
not giving him shelter. We
Yeah.
are not giving the basic things. And then we are now telling him that there is no rule of law.
What is
This
happening
what the
today?
dictatorship. And
What is happening today?
Lastly, Arna, please, one more thing.
Okay,
I'm
please-
very
please
worried
do
man
complete.
today.
Yes.
I think the first shot has been fired to silence the judiciary today. The first shot has been fired.
What do you
to
mean?
silence the judiciary today. I'm very worried about what's going to happen in the next 6 months.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, the shot has also been equally fired at the people of India. And because, you know, this is to a great extent an insult to the intelligence of the people of India.
Exactly.
The people of India will also ask the questions. And I asked this question today to Sanjay Jha and Manoj Jha, who are both defending this move. And I asked this question to both of you gentlemen. Actually, Sanjay Jha, you take that question. You say, when I ask you the questions, you say these, you always begin with adjectives saying these are completely ridiculous charges, etc., etc. Now, I am asking you, the Supreme Court observations in the DC Wadhwa versus State of Bihar case, 1987, which I'm sure you're aware of, the court said, and I quote, the power to promulgate an ordinance. The power to promulgate an ordinance is essentially a power to be used to meet an extraordinary situation, and it cannot be allowed to be perverted to serve political ends. Right? Now I ask you, Sanjay Jha, tell me the extraordinary emergency that we are now in. Why me? Tell all the viewers of Newshour tonight that you see we are in this national emergency. We can't wait. Or Lalu Yasav's possible conviction is a national emergency for the Congress party. What is the national emergency? Please tell me.
Okay, Arnab. Okay, let me answer you. On July 10th, you had a Supreme Court verdict. All political parties responded saying they were concerned, they had apprehensions about the fact that the verdict would in a great number of ways be unfair.
Now, I'm asking you about the ordinance.
Entire political
Ordinance
system
route.
Because there were
I'm asking you
vulnerabilities.
about an
I'm coming
ordinance,
to the point.
applicability
I'm
of
coming
an
to the
ordinance.
point. You have one
Ordinance.
I'm just coming to that. By the way, let me tell you the fact of life. By the way, the bill was actually introduced in the Rajya Sabha. In the
No, I am
monsoon
asking you
session
about the
itself.
ordinance. You are not
let me tell
answering
you,
about the
there
ordinance.
1 minute. I'm just trying to answer you. I'm just about to answer you. You have got general elections announced for April.
Oh.
Now, any decision that
Oh,
we take
there
today,
you are admitting it.
By the way, even when the Parliament convenes, even when Parliament convenes in November, it has to be passed in Parliament within 6 weeks. So let me tell you, this is at the moment an ordinance is not an act of Parliament. At the moment, if we are hearing voices
why
from
the
some
ordinance?
political parties who are, if you notice,
why
if you
the
hear all
ordinance?
of them. 1 minute, please let me answer.
What is the hurry?
Arnab, let me answer.
Sanjay.
It is. You asked me the same question on the food security bill.
No.
Let me ask you that.
No,
You
because
asked me the same
because
question on the food security
because
bill.
you are. I
Why
asked
the
you a
hurry?
question. You are not
End
answering.
Of day, when it
I am
came
telling
into,
you.
when it came
Besides
into Parliament,
Lalu
it went
Prasad,
through its
what is the
debate, it
national
went through its
emergency, which
discussion,
is
it
why
got
you need
passed.
to go through the ordinance route? Please tell me. I know you introduced
It's
it on
got
August
nothing to do with
30th.
Lalu Prasad at all.
Oh, it
No, that
no. So
is-
then
no,
tell
no,
me
listen,
no,
you are
because
inferring a
as per the
Lalu Prasad verdict. I don't
Constitution of
think it's got
India,
anything to do with
as
Lalu
per the
Prasad Yadav at
Constitution
all.
of India, you have to have an extraordinary situation necessitating an ordinance. I want to know. I have a right to know. My law allows me a right to know and ask you, what is the extraordinary situation? What is it? Tell me.
Well, I just answered you. I
What?
just answered you.
What is the extraordinary
Listen,
situation?
there has already been an attempt to get this into Parliament in the form of a bill.
No.
It was already
So take it
introduced
through.
in
No,
the
wait till
Rajya
the
Sabha.
next
Point
session
number
of
one.
Parliament.
Let's look at the intent. Number one. I'm coming to point number two. You have another session of Parliament coming up in
So why
November.
don't you
Arnab,
wait
just
till
give me a second.
November?
So the point is...
Why don't you wait till November?
Well, let me answer. Let me answer. There is a need for this to go through a rigorous discussion in the standing committee where all political parties will have
Exactly. So why do you want it? So you are
at the
proving
moment of
yourself
time-
wrong repeatedly again and again,
Oh, 1
Sanjay
minute.
Jha.
So we
you are
want to
proving
make
yourself
sure,
wrong. I'm
we want
asking
to
you
make
again.
sure,
What is the
given the history,
no, you have
given the history of the
Shazia
given the
is
history of
responding.
obstruction.
Shazia, are you convinced?
Why aren't you listening?
I think
Given the
cannot
history of
comprehend.
obstruction in
Sanjay,
Parliament,
I
where
cannot-
Parliament has hardly worked. Parliament has
Shazia.
actually worked
Arnab,
for
with
only
your permission, with
60%
your
of its
kind permission,
time.
sir.
You need to
Sanjay,
make
I-
sure
Shazia, are you
that
convinced?
you expedite the process to the extent possible. That's
Shazia.
it. And to the extent that we know, all political
for the
parties
life
are
of
in
me-
Not convincing,
Mr.
not
Jha.
convincing, not convincing, Shazia.
Well, let me tell you, those are facts
For
on
the
the
life
table.
of
You can
me,
look
I
at all the
cannot
newspaper
comprehend.
clippings.
I
The
cannot
Bharatiya Janata
comprehend,
Party has
Mr. Jha.
supported the entire...
Shazia,
view
go
of-
on.
Are you rambling?
Yeah, you can go ahead. No, I'm not rambling,
I
but you
cannot
can go ahead.
comprehend for the life of me the desperate hurry and the complete desperation to save the convicted MPs and to ensure that they continue in the parliament. Aren't they more pressing matters? Does the executive and cabinet have nothing better to do? Two, shouldn't they, if the claim is that the criminal justice system smacks of vendetta when it comes to electoral politics, should they try to fix that instead of giving greater immunity to the MPs who are convicted? Shouldn't all the MPs are the same, have enjoyed the
Shazia,
same
judicial
immunity
reforms
as any
cannot
other
happen
citizen in the
overnight.
eyes
They
of
take
law?
time.
Yeah, but this is happening overnight. Exactly my point. Why is this happening overnight?
Why is it happening overnight?
Why
Please
is it
tell me,
happening
you had an
overnight?
all-party meeting. You had an all-party
Exactly.
meeting in this matter in August. The BJP had asked them to
That's
refer
the
the
question.
proposed amendments to a standing committee. However, instead of trying to build a consensus on the matter, suddenly you become all nervous and you want to push through the ordinance. Now, the law and its application is not a handmaiden in the hand of political parties. There has to be some answerability. In fact, I remember after the parliament session, the BJP even demanded that this bill be referred to the standing committee. And I have told you what the ordinance route says, what it doesn't say. Now, I'm going to open up to our phone calls. Please remember, the Supreme Court dismissed the review petition in the government filed, while the parliament has a right, Sanjay, to bring in a law that overrules the orders of the highest court. The question is only this and this. Why is it being done like this? What is the intent of an ordinance to which you are not being able to give me a satisfactory explanation? So I presume the only explanation is a political explanation which you are trying to hide.
On that, Ardab. 1 minute. You can't sit on judgment. It's in the public domain. The clauses in the ordinance, by the way, which deny the voting rights to anybody who is actually convicted. Number one. Number two, deny them privileges. They are also not allowed to contest the next election unless they are acquitted. They are all in the public domain. There's nothing being hidden at all. In the standing committee, if any political party has any
I
objections,
don't
they
be
are free to
allowed
debate.
Siddharth Nath Singh
This
is
is not
rebutting
an
you
act
again.
of parliament. And I just want to tell you how the BJP is running with the hare and hunting with the hounds. They have got a gentleman by the name of Babu Bhai Bhogaria in Gujarat sitting in the cabinet of Narendra Modi who's been convicted. So you can see for yourself an ample proof of the double standards of the BJP. Now they're trying to score some points by saying you'll go to the president, but the people should see through their posture and performance.
BJP, then I will be raising too many questions.
No, but it is a reality, Siddharth.
But the fact of the matter
No, Siddharth, it is a reality. How can you pretend about it?
Mr. Jha, you
should read the tweet of Sushma Swaraj.
Please allow. Come on, now please hang on and listen to others.
Go ahead.
That's a normal courtesy you forget to extend. It is not a judgment anybody is giving. It's an inference from your act by bringing an ordinance when you had all the routes through the standing committee and then in the parliament in November to bring it. We also said
Sanjay,
there are concerns in the all-party meeting. We said we have a concern because
all this is very
to the common man and also to the politicians and the MLAs.
Siddharth, you know what? Siddharth, you are also fooling us.
Yeah.
The BJP is also fooling the people of India. Because, this is interesting discussion. TSR Subramaniam is a man of experience. He'll understand what you're trying to do. I can see through the conspiracy that both you parties have hatched. You have decided that, Sushma Swaraj will tweet at 10:40 at night that this is very bad, the ordinance. And at 7:30 in the morning, Manish Tiwari will tweet that Sushma Swaraj should not question. So the whole discussion becomes about the way in which you carry out the change rather than whether we want the change or not. We don't want this change. The people of India, I'm going to open up the phone. The people of India don't want to see criminals in politics. That's it.
You're wrong here.
That's it. Am I wrong? You're saying the people of India want to see criminals in politics?
You're wrong. Now I'll tell you why you're wrong.
People of India want to see criminals in politics?
Allow me to answer. You have raised your question. Allow me to answer. What we are saying is, yes, there is a cover-up they are doing for Lalu Prasad Yadav and Rashid Massoud, and also at the same time we are saying this needs to be debated in the past.
Forget the Lalu Prasad angle. I'll debate that later.
Why?
No. You object to the manner.
No, you need to.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Now you won't let me speak. It's fascinating.
You protect the rights of everybody, including the politicians and also the common man.
Siddharth Nath Singh.
That's the platform needs to be brought under a law which is transparent and doesn't allow criminalization in politics.
Mr. Siddharth Singh, you think the people of India are foolish? You are objecting to the manner in which the government wants to effect these changes, but you are not opposed to the changes in principle at all. You give lectures on
we are.
corruption.
Exactly.
You know,
Sorry,
and you know why
we
you are
are.
not?
We are.
And you know why you are not?
I'm sorry, Mr. Ordinance.
You are not.
Mr. Goswami, I don't think that as an anchor you can be fooling the people, but you now stop fooling the people and listen to all of us.
Mr. Singh.
Also, the reason we want a debate because the law should be equal to both the common man. If the common man is convicted, he cannot fight an election.
Mr.
But
Mr.
somebody
Siddharth
who's
Nath
sitting in
Singh,
the parliament or a legislator,
Mr. Siddharth
if
Nath
he is
Singh,
Hey, please, please, please.
Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh,
Please,
Mr.
here.
Siddharth Nath Singh, it's all right for you to accuse me. It's all right for you to accuse me.
Into an appeal.
It's
now,
all right.
Here is the question.
No, you made a
now,
charge.
Here the question comes.
You made a charge.
Can a law protect if there is a ruling party which goes with a vendetta and accuses a person who is honest? How the law can protect them?
So there
I
you
think
see,
that's also a larger question which
there you
needs
are.
to be debated in the parliament.
44 MPs.
And
Third,
Mr.
1 minute.
Goswami doesn't want, Mr. Goswami doesn't want that to be handled.
Wait, one second.
Congress and 43 of BJP.
Absolutely. 44 of the BJP, 38% of BJP MPs with pending criminal cases.
Tazia, you are yet to be born. I'm sure you will realize it, that whether it is 48 or it is going to be 400 for you.
Oh, so we are on what you're saying basically is we are all in the same boat. We all have lots of criminals in our parties. One, we live with them. And 1 minute, Siddharth Nath Singh.
I feel sorry. What you're saying,
but that route is in Parliament, not through an ordinance.
I want to ask Mr. Singh a question. We have written in our constitution, and we're yet to be born. And I think that's the reason why we decided to be born in the first place, because of this complete complicity between all the political parties. I would like to ask you a question. There are 43 MPs in the BJP, in the parliament, from BJP who have tainted records, as well as 44 from the Congress. Are you, Mr. Singh, going to say that they will not be given tickets? Are you ready to swear right now in front of everybody that you, as spokesperson of BJP, will not allow convicted MPs or charge-sheeted MPs from being given a ticket next time by a party? You will not do that. Exactly my point.
Now let me answer it.
So no point in saying anything about me will matter. You'll have to answer it.
Please hear. Out of 43 or 108 or whatever numbers you wish to give, there is also a question that many of us, irrespective of party, get charge-sheeted, framed.
There you. Now you are talking the Congress line.
Certain grounds.
Now you are back. Now you are all together. TSR Subramaniam disagrees.
Arnab, you need to distinguish.
TSR Subramaniam disagrees. You want to? TSR Subramaniam is rebutting that point. TSR Subramaniam, I'm going across to you.
It is a political charge.
TSR Subramaniam.
Once we are able to do that, it is very good. It is a very good and a welcome step which we need to do in the parliament, not between
the FIR stage. Please don't confuse between FIR, framing of charge, and conviction. And the last stage is appeal.
Exactly.
In India, the appeal is a 5 to 6 to 8 year stage. What we are now going to do under this ordinance is, you are now going to deprive the constituency of a vote, and that is against his fundamental rights.
Mr. Subramaniam, you know what happens in the district courts of UP.
No, 1 second, Siddharth Nath Singh.
A person can be convicted.
No, 1 second, Siddharth Nath Singh. I have one simple question for you, and then there are a couple of callers also waiting. I need to take a few callers now. Siddharth Nath Singh, I have a question for you. Suppose Lalu Prasad comes before you. 1 second. Here's a question for Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh, which will show the hypocrisy of Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh tonight. The double speak of Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh tonight. The difficult position that Mr. Siddharth Singh is now with tonight. Because Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh, I think there is a cabinet note. And since you have accused me of, among other things, trying to mislead people, I accuse you back of trying to mislead people. Because there is a cabinet note which is dated 17 June 2013, printed at 4:23 p.m., you'd be happy to note, which is proof that the BJP is not opposed to the changing of the laws to protect convicted MPs. Right? So your protests are purely for political points and stem from no concern over probity and morality. You are only trying to score a political goal against Lalu Prasad Yadav. And I'll ask you a counter question. What if Lalu comes before you? What if Lalu comes before you and says, Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh, you know how terrible it is for us politicians? Everybody wants to fix us. So Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh, I am a poor politician. For 20 years, Mr. Siddharth Singh, like all poor politicians, I fought a case. And like all poor politicians, I got convicted. Let's hold hands, Mr. Singh, and believe that all charges against all politicians are essentially frame-ups. And then you will hold Mr. Lalu Prasad's hand and say,
question you got, yeah.
no, and then you would, and then you will ask, then you will hold Lalu Prasad's hand and say that yes, Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav, we politicians are only being framed.
It's the longest question I've understood.
No, you've not.
I've understood.
Have you?
It's the longest question, but I've understood. I've understood. One, we will reject on Mr. Lalu Prasad even coming near to BJP.
Really?
One, that is an answer, you can take it. Second, really, it's not a real. Now, second question. Second, it is, I'm in politics. If I'm playing politics, then why a channel like Times of India or Times Now and other channels following what I'm saying? I'm saying that the government intent is to save Lalu Prasad. Why you are also saying the same thing? I'm in politics, I'll play politics. But you're also saying the same thing. So you are stamping what we are saying. Now third is,
certainly not.
Please understand that we want the politics to be clean. And for that, there are certain issues.
Siddharth Singh, now, one second. Siddharth Singh, you forget the past, but I don't. You forget the past, but I don't. Because if you had remembered the past, you would remember. You'd be well served to remember. In fact, if I were to tell you, Siddharth, and you don't mind, that in 2002, when the Supreme Court passed a landmark judgment ordering all candidates seeking to be elected to Parliament or the State Assembly to disclose their criminal backgrounds, their financial assets, the BJP-led NDA government within 4 months promulgated an ordinance amending the Representation of People's Act to negate the apex court order. Right? The Supreme Court later struck down the amendment as unconstitutional. Hereby I have proven, QED, Siddharth Nath Singh, that you were doing exactly the same thing when you were in power. You have no answer to that. You have no answer to that.
Proven. You have again misled. Now let me answer you this. In 2002, when BJP was bringing certain changes in electoral reform, we were more or less overlapping with the Supreme Court. For example, let me give, because you will not remember, I'll give you two examples. One, we said if the candidates need to declare...
Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh, now Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh, how much can you make up and how much can you forget? How much can you make up and how much can you forget? I want you to look back into your archives because you have been caught on the wrong foot today. You have been caught on the wrong foot today. You have been caught on the wrong foot today.
You are in a haste not to listen to me.
Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh, you got your facts so jumbled up tonight.
There were certain differences with the Supreme Court. There were certain differences with the Supreme Court.
There were no differences.
For example, we said an elected representative should be declaring, but yes, when we file, don't make it public.
So you were doing the same thing, no, Siddharth? You were doing
and that is what we had said.
Yeah. So you know something, Siddharth. You know what? Something, Siddharth. Siddharth. I'll tell you something.
Hang on.
Why are you so much on the defensive, Siddharth? Just because I prove you wrong.
No, I know. No, I'm sorry, you are in defensive, Mr. Goswami, because
I prove you wrong.
I'm quoting from Times of India, entire report, January 7, 2003.
Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh, all-party meeting convened. I will now raise my voice because you are compelling me to, and I will tell you two things, Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh. All-party meeting convened by your government, the Vajpayee government, on August 2nd, 2003, which rejected the Election Commission order. And I remember what the Supreme Court said in 2003 to that, and if I say that to you, you will be positively embarrassed. But despite that, since you've chosen to try and fabricate facts, I will tell you that the court said the following. It said, at the outset, we would like to state that such exercise of power by the legislature giving similar directions was undertaken in the past. And this court, in unequivocal words, declared that the legislature in this country has no power to ask the instrumentalities of the state or disobey or disregard the decisions given by the courts. Mr. Siddharth Nath Singh, you did exactly the same thing. Now you have every right to question the way they are doing it, but don't say we are trying to clean up criminals in politics. I'm taking a caller.
There were two different things. Here there is an intent. There was
the first caller.
The
first caller is Rakesh.
We were trying to bring a transparency.
The first caller. It doesn't condone the ordinance route.
Parties which were not supporting, and therefore we brought the ordinance.
It doesn't condone the ordinance route. And our first caller from Mysore this evening is Rakesh. Rakesh, good evening.
Ordinance can be brought if you need to.
Rakesh, 1 minute. Listen to the caller, Siddharth, 1 minute. Rakesh, good evening. Rakesh from Mysore.
How are you? Good.
I'm very well.
Smile on your face, and And I remember very well in the beginning of the debate itself, you have told very clearly, this particular ordinance been supported by Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi. I want to ask Sanjay Jha. Sanjay, I've been seeing you from a very long time coming to the TV debates. Sanjay, tell me, will it not help Congress if you do this? Will it not help Congress if you do this? Go all the way out, yeah, come on, people like Lalu Yadav, Sadhu Yadav, we don't require them. We don't require them in politics. They are criminals. There are many criminals in BJP also. Throw them out. We don't need them. We need intellectual people. We need people who can serve this country with a conviction, education and dedication. We don't need these criminals at all. Throw them out. Come on, Sanjay. Come on, do it. Your Congress can do it. If BJP cannot do it, Congress can do it.
Well, I think that's interesting.
Do it.
Really buy the bait.
Mahesh, I want to just give you a quick
Rakesh.
answer to that. I completely agree with you. Let me also tell you that our political leaders, including the Prime Minister, Mrs. Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, and everybody in our political system, that the party I represent is against criminalization of politics. We are working towards that. I also agree that yes, we do have a certain percentage of convicted criminals in our system as well that we need to get rid of. And I think you will see it in the 2014 when we announce our candidates for the
but at the same time you push an ordinance
of purging of these elements. As far as the ordinance is concerned, let me assure you, Mahesh, 1 minute, it is something that we have put up only, let me tell you, it is only to make sure that it's a very small percentage of people who might be, and that is a point that we cannot ignore, who might be targeted by certain political formations that might thwart their career politics, which may not be really fair. I think everyone has a right to an appeal. That's the only reason we have brought forth this ordinance. Let the people debate it. As a public of India, you will have a right to hear it being debated in Parliament. And if it gets passed, there will be a rationale behind it. If not, it won't get passed.
It's going to be a black letter day in the history of Indian politics when all political parties get together and say all convicted politicians will continue to fight elections. And by the way, that small number that you refer to, by the way, Siddharth Singh, Sanjay Jha, 44 from Congress, 9 from Samajwadi Party, 6 from the BSP, 9 from the NCP, 3 from the RJD. Mathematically, that's 71 MPs in the UPA. And you know what your problem is? All of those, if they go away or don't get re-elected or you get into trouble, your government falls. So that's the reality. I'm only putting the numbers out. Next caller is Anand, and he's calling from Hyderabad. Anand, good evening.
Good evening, Arnav.
Good evening.
From a long time, I'm hearing the rhetorics which Mr. Sanjay Jha is making. My question to him is this. I only hope that he doesn't interrupt me when I'm speaking, because just now when the other caller was calling you, he was interrupting and he was, going on saying something which is, not much of any consequence, to be very honest. Now, I would ask Mr. Sanjay Jha one thing.
I'll try and not be like Arnab Goswami, don't worry.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would ask you, you have ruled this country for so long, and what are you doing? Yeah, I heard you. Now please listen to my question. You have ruled this country for so long. I mean, you have been into everything. Now, what is this thing which you are doing of late? I mean, are you afraid of pre-elections? Have you got the guts to, announce elections before the due date? And another one thing I want to ask you is, criminals, who can fight, elections, what is this? This is absolutely something which a common man can't take. You see, a common man, when he's, caught because of he's done some crime, he's immediately, put into a lot of trouble. But these politicians, they are languishing in, jails for whatever reasons I don't understand. But what I want to tell you very frankly is, this FDI thing, this FSB, Food Security Bill, and the 7th Pay Commission, what are you trying to do? You're trying to fool people? Do you think people are not educated? They will not understand what is happening in this country? The common man can't buy a kilo of onions today under the regime of Congress? And what are you trying to do? Please answer me. Have you got the guts to announce an election before?
Is your question
I'm
over?
101% sure you will lose.
Okay, now let him answer. Let him answer. Anand, stay on the line. Don't cut off because he's answering you, right? Okay, fine.
Yeah, I'm on the line.
You stay on the line. Let him answer. Yeah.
Okay.
We take one more caller after this.
At the beginning, I will tell you that I completely empathize with your sentiments and feelings. We are not on the wrong page or on different sides here. We are on the same page. Let me tell you, please do not get so cynical or, angry with the political system. I know it has been happening over the last couple of years that a lot of people have been discrediting the entire political system day in and day out. There are excellent politicians in our Congress
answer
party.
the question.
And I'm sure there are some good politicians in all other political parties. No, I'm answering your question. I can't comment on the bills, etc., because there's a larger social issue that I can't debate here. But just to be very frank with you, all of us as political parties face the public of India day in and day out.
No, why
we have to come to you.
Why then?
If I lie here on television, you have a right to reject me and my party when we come to you in 2014. What the point we are making, I don't want to get into the final legalese of the ordinance or the bill. The final point we are making is that end of day, Arnab, just give me a minute.
He's saying, he's saying you are cheating the people of India.
End of day, we are accountable to you.
No, 1 second. If you,
we are not.
So here's the message.
We are not. That's what I want to
You got the message, Anand. You heard that. You want to say something in return?
We have empowered.
Anand, you want to say... Anand, go ahead.
I just want to say one thing.
Let Anand speak, please. Sanjay, 1 minute. Let Anand counter you once.
Anand, right to Information Act.
Anand,
just 1 minute.
No, you can't hide behind Right to Information Act on everything. What have you said? No, Sanjay. Sanjay, are you trying to say one? Sanjay, please listen, please, Sanjay.
Now the problem is Mr. Sanjay Jha is he doesn't want to listen to anybody. He doesn't want to listen to anybody else. He doesn't want to listen to anybody else. He just goes on with his own thing. That's the problem. You see, the common man has never been listened to. That's a apathy in our country. And I'm very sorry to say, Mr. Sanjay Jha, that whatever rhetoric you come and do, put forth in Arnab's program, they mean nothing to me as a common man. Because every line which you say, every line which you speak, it doesn't imply anything. It's a total and blatant lie which you tell on the television. You are fooling the people of this country. And I'm very sorry to say this, that after 66, you imagine, Germany got independence after Second World War. Japan got independence. There are a lot of other countries who were in turmoil in Second World War, World War II. But see the fate of those countries and see the fate of our country.
I think on that I say, Anand, I have to take a few other callers, so I can't stay on this for too long. But can I just say one thing? Can I just say one thing, Anand, to you?
I understand the anguish, but I do not share your pessimism.
1 second, no, 1 second. If you were to be,
these are not empty stats.
If you were to be,
the country has grown.
Sanjay Jha, 1 minute, please.
Down and
Sanjay, please.
For heaven's sake.
Sanjay, please remember this.
So pessimistic.
Remember this. The unilateralism, the utter, and please do not interrupt me, Sanjay. Right? The unilateralism with which political parties in India change laws to suit themselves, and the unilateralism with political parties in India say it is all right for convicted politicians to fight an election, we must really stand out like a sore thumb among democracies that is allowing our democracy to be changed forward in such a manner. And I think the people of this country have very much got a right and stake to ask you, what gave you the right to change the law? This is not what the founding fathers of this country wanted. You change the law in which we do, and if you then say we are all in it together, still the people of this country will ask you, if all the political parties are together in deciding that convicted politicians should fight an election, still people have a right to ask questions. TSR Subramaniam, and then I'm taking one caller tonight. TSR, please. And I just want to say one thing, TSR, before I come to you, that Sushma Swaraj has been watching the Newshour Debate, has communicated that she wants to make it clear that the BJP is against the content of the ordinance. She says the BJP, Sushma Swaraj says, it's not just the ordinance. She says, and I know she's watching the Newshour tonight, I thank her for that clarification. She says the BJP is against the content of the ordinance. So they are meeting the president tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. and I think this is going to be quite a political fight. TSR Subramaniam.
Arnab,
I don't think this controversy is going away.
I'm delighted to hear this last comment from Sushma Swaraj.
Yes.
That was the point I wish to make. There is absolutely, whatever else may be the argumentation, Supreme Court is right or wrong, etc., etc. There's no national emergency. There is no urgency. The fate of two politicians who've been fighting cases the last 25 years for this. It is not 1 year or 2 years. 25 years they've been fighting. It is of no consequence of the nation. The nation does not care for a Masood or for a Lalu Yadav. This is the time. I have seen 2 presidents stand up and then say, please reconsider. We want to see tomorrow if the new president is a congressman or the president of India. Is he for the people of India or is he a congressman? We want to see tomorrow, because if there is one case where he should stand up and say, sorry, this is not the time, there is no urgency, there is no war going on, we don't need this, the heavens are not going to fall. I think this is going to be a test of how mature we are as a nation, how mature the post of president is in India.
Well, I think I just repeat this because Sushma Swaraj sent this specific tweet and she's watching and she says, and I quote, 3 minutes back, I've just got a notice, says, Arnab, please note, we are opposed to the contents of this ordinance. That is why we called it unconstitutional. So this gives a completely different spin. I wish Sushma Swaraj were to come live on the program, but in any case, this does communicate what she's trying to say. I think this is going to be a big fight. I don't think this is going away. I'll take one last caller. And I want to genuinely thank the callers who are calling in tonight to the News Hour and who are holding on for so long. Even if I cannot take your calls, I hope you find in some of our callers your own voice. Our next caller is Ravi, and he's from Varanasi. Ravi, good evening.
Good evening, Arnab.
Yes, Ravi.
I just want to ask Mr. Sanjay Jha that what was the haste in putting the ordinance, whereas there was no urgency shown on the Lokpal bill and neither on the autonomy of the CBI.
Right, got it.
But they showed an urgency to put an ordinance for such kind of protecting criminals and subverting our judicial system.
Right. Sanjay, last word. Specific, short answer, please, to that.
Yeah, sure. Ravi, let me tell you that the Lokpal bill has gone through various stages in Parliament. We are very happy that we have made substantial progress. However, at the end of the day, I think it requires a great degree of political consensus. There have been some political parties who are actually against the bill itself, forget the content. So I think that will need to be debated. It's a process or that as a legislative process of Parliament. We don't have a unilateral right to boycott that. Number two, as far as the hurry on the ordinance, let me tell you, there's no hurry on the ordinance at all. This is a very, very crucial part that needs to be addressed, on which all political parties have a consensus. I'm hearing a different voice today, very surprisingly late in the evening, but that we'll see how it plays out tomorrow. But the reason is, let me tell you, as a member of the Congress party, I can tell you we are against criminals in politics. We don't want criminals in politics.
Two messages.
Make sure that in selection of candidates, you will have the confidence that we are making sure that only good people.
Okay, one second. Two messages.
That is one of the reasons why we'll have a stringent process of selection.
Two messages. Rahul Mehra.
I just want to make one point. There has been a lot of bashing of the political system. I think we need to have faith in it. There are a lot of
one second. Let's not try and make this a cross political. You are right now quite alone. Don't make this. No, I don't want it. This political. No, I don't do political system bashing.
The way you are doing and bring in ordinance just before the order is going to convict Lalu Prasad Yadav, I'm sure the public is going to hold an opinion.
I have three messages.
Makes this happen that the
three messages. Three messages. You know to the extent to which people are watching. Sanjay, 1 minute. Don't respond. Three messages which are really giving me food for thought. One message goes and it says, for the women's bill and Lokpal bill, they need a consensus, but they want to go for an ordinance for this. Why? Okay. Why not an ordinance on the Lokpal? Writes Pankaj. Shrikant says, why can't the people be asked, conduct a sample survey involving the citizens? If the citizens are with you, go ahead and make the ordinance. And Rahul Mehra says, please tell Sanjay Jha that his 1 minute, please tell Sanjay Jha that his party opted out of RTI as a political party. So much talk of having respect for the RTI. So really the pressure is on you, Sanjay Jha, tonight, and I don't think the pressure is easing off. You have a lot of questions to answer, but I thank you for coming, for all of you participating and in this debate tonight, which I hope has contributed to the overall national debate on the subject. Thank you.